In English, if we translate it to I got someone, doesn't give us the feel, right? But Stankin called a drunkard or reaching out to the stars to connect to the, what are they called? Hey everyone, welcome to Language Speaks. I'm Neha. Today's video is a fun video. I am going to tell you what the German titles are for some of the Bollywood films. I'm sure most of you know that Bollywood films are loved in Germany. Germans do have a fondness and liking to watching Bollywood films, especially the ones that star Shah Rukh Khan. And most of the blockbuster movies are dubbed in German, and so obviously the titles are dubbed in German as well. You know, same as how we dub the Hollywood movies from English to Hindi, and obviously we dub the titles as well, right? Remember the movie Ek Bandar Hotel Ke Andar? So the actual title for that is Dunstan Checks In. Similarly, the Germans have their own way of dubbing the names of our Bollywood movies. So I have a list of a few movies that I've picked up today, and I'll be sharing what the German titles for those are. And let's see if you can guess what the Hindi equivalent for that is. So the first movie. Wer zuerst kommt, kriegt die Braut. Wer zuerst kommt, kriegt die Braut. So I will break down this title for you. Wer zuerst kommt is the one who comes first. Kriegt die Braut is gets the bride. So the original for this one is Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge. Well, like you see, the literal translation or the dubbed title says one who comes first takes the bride, but actually Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge is like one with a big heart takes the bride. Next one. Mein Herz spielt verrückt. Mein Herz spielt verrückt. Did you guess that one? That's the dub title for Dil To Pagal Hai. So this title is pretty much straightforward. Mein Herz is Dil. Spielt verrückt. Verrückt is mad. So Dil To Pagal Hai. Next one. Sternenkind. Sternenkind. So I'll break this word for you. Sterne being stars and kind is child. So what does this title suggest? Star kid? Sternenkind? No. The actual name of the movie? Koi Mil Gaya. Remember the one with Hrithik Roshan reaching out to the stars to connect to the aliens? So Sternenkind is basically drawing from the gist of the story. So this is not a literal translation of Koi Mil Gaya. Next one. Oh, this is a difficult one. Karan und Arjun. Karan und Arjun is obviously Karan Arjun. So when they have names, any names in the title, they obviously don't change that. That stays same. They've just added und is and. So it's Karan and Arjun. Next one. In guten wie in schweren Tagen. Oops. In guten wie in schweren Tagen. So the literal translation of this German sentence is in good and bad times or in good and hard times. And the original movie is Kabhi Khushi, Kabhi Gum. In guten wie in schwerin targen. So pretty much on the similar lines of the actual title. Next one. Und ganz plötzlich ist es lieber. Und ganz plötzlich ist es lieber. To explain this sentence, what this sentence actually means is love happens suddenly. Ganz plötzlich ist es lieber. And the actual Bollywood film is kuchkuch hota hai. So again, this is not a literal translation, but going by the gist of the story. Next one. Highmart. Highmart. Heimat in German means a place where you belong to. It could be your village or the place where you've been born and brought up. So the original Hindi title of Heimat is Swades. Makes sense, no? Heimat. Next one. Einstein auf Erden. Einstein auf Erden. I'll break up this title for you. A star on the earth. A star on the earth is, right, Tare Zami Par. So the Hindi word suggests Tare Zami Par, so it's plural, and well, the German they've just mentioned Einstein, that is a star, because the story is of that one boy, right? So that's why it goes Einstein auf Erden. Next one. Lebe und denke nicht an morgen. Lebe und denke nicht an morgen. So the literal meaning of this sentence is हंसो, जियो, मुस्कुराओ, क्या पता कल हो ना हो. So the original title is Kal Ho Na Ho. But like you see, this is not the exact translation. They've literally picked up that dialogue which actually Shah Rukh says that Haso, Jio, live. Don't think about tomorrow. Lebe. Denke nicht an morgen. And the last one for today. Andere Sterne, andere Sitten. Andere Sterne, andere Sitten. So full marks if you are going to get this one. Well, I'm going to break that down for you. Andere Sterne is other star. Andere Sitten is other ways or other customs. Okay, so hold your breath. That title is for the Bollywood movie PK. So now PK for us in Hindi, it means PK, like the movie says, PK hai kya? It means are you drunk? Andere Sterne, andere Sitten is no way close to being called a drunkard. So andere Sterne is like a different planet, and andere Sitten is different ways or different customs. So this title is from PK's perspective, because like we know that he comes from a different planet. So for him, Earth is a different star, a planet, and he learns the ways and how to deal with people on this planet. So the movie title in German is from PK's perspective. So this was fun, wasn't it? Well, the basic motive to tell you this was that when translating from one language to the other, it doesn't have to be word-to-word literal translation. So translations are always keeping in mind the audience and the context of the film or the book, if you're translating a book, that is. So every language has its own specialities, peculiarities, phrases, and also each language has its own feel. We can feel in every language. So what that title means for us in Hindi, and if it's translated literally in German, well, that wouldn't give us that exact feel. For example, Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge. So this title has a different feel in Hindi, isn't it? We know exactly it's a romantic movie, Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge. So if we take the example of the movie Koi Mil Gaya. So Koi Mil Gaya is literally like I met someone or I got someone. But Stankin in German has a sort of a mysterious feel to it. It could be quite intriguing for the Germans to know what Stankin is and what the movie is about. So for you who are interested in learning the language in order to do translations at some point in time, the main key for you to remember is that you have to always keep in mind your target audience and the context of your translations. So it is never word to word. Well, I hope you've liked this episode. Please give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. I'll see you next time. Auf Wiedersehen. Bye.